Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina and today I wanted to start reading my book collection. Last video I did reorganize all my books, so if you're interested in that type of content, check out my last post. But I wanted to start reading more books before I start buying more, because I don't want to be those type of people that just has a bunch of books there just to look at them. I actually want to read, retain the story, and actually have books that I like. Like if I have a book that I don't like, I will contemplate giving it away, donating it, or selling it, because I just don't want to have books just to have them. Like I want to have books that I like and I could read later on or pass on, or just have books that I love. So today I wanted to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. Sorry if I butcher the name, it's kind of a tongue twister for me. I only got to chapter 3. I didn't get so far because I just started the book. I'm liking it so far. It is a fantasy book. It starts off with Carl in character. He has a girlfriend, Beatrice. She's out on a trip and he's randomly scrolling Instagram one day and he sees her sitting on her ex-boyfriend's lap. He's like, hold on, hold the phone. And he doesn't like drama, so he just calls her and he's like, yo, I'm done. We're done. You're done. I'm done. We're done. Bye. He's just chilling in his house and he's like, what the fuck do I do with this cat? Because he still has her cat in his home because they were living together, of course. Then her parents are supposed to come pick up the fucking cat, but they can't because there's severe weather outside, of course. So he lets the cat stay until Beatrice comes back. He's just chilling, but he's a little spiteful because she always had a rule not to smoke in the apartment, but he decides to smoke in there anyways because they're not together anymore. So technically he could do whatever the fuck he wants. But to be a little bit considerate, he opens up the window because of course Donut's still there and she doesn't really like the smell too much. And one day he wanted to smoke, so he crack opens the window and he starts lighting his shit. Donut, something that she never done before, she jumps on the window and out onto a tree. He thought that she wanted to go explore and shit, so he lets her because that's not really his fucking cat. But he's like all looking and shit. She realizes it's cold as fuck outside, so she wanted to come back inside, but she was too scared to jump back in. So he's like, fuck, what the hell do I do now with this fucking cat that's not even fucking mine? Now I have to deal with this shit and getting her back inside. So instead of jumping back in, she's howling and howling and he's like, fuck, she's gonna wake up all the fucking neighbors. Like, what do I do? He just grabs the thing closest to him. He puts on his ex-girlfriend's freaking Crocs. I don't know why the fuck he would do that, but he put on her Crocs. He put on some flimsy ass jacket and he went. He didn't even put on pants. When it's severe weather outside, you think you would want to put on pants? I mean, the cat could wait, but whatever. He ends up going outside and trying to get this fucking cat. This old lady from the apartment complex, I forgot her name, sorry, she ends up yelling out the window like, what the hell are you doing and shit? He's like, I'm trying to get this fucking cat. Mid-sentence, the whole apartment complex goes to shit. It just shatters into fucking snow or collapses into shit, and he's just looking around like, what the fuck just happened? No way this shit just happened. He ends up getting the cat, and then he looks down and he sees that it's the bitch's head on the floor that was just talking to him in the window. Her head is on the fucking floor. So this shit is real. Like, he's just in shock. He's just like, what the fuck is happening right now? I mean, if I was outside my apartment complex trying to get my cat and someone was screaming at me and I'm talking to them, and then the whole apartment complex just fucking collapses and I'm just like, and their head is on the floor, I probably would have just died there. My soul would have just disintegrated right there in that moment, because what? And then out of nowhere, some just robotic voice came into his mind, and they were saying that this whole world dungeon, they were telling him the rules, the in and outs, how the world has just gone to shit because of this whole world dungeon thing. He's like, what the fuck? Like, he's still in shock, and he's like, I know what hypothermia does to people, and I'm not gonna stay out here to fend for myself when there's basically nothing to survive off of. So he ends up going into the world dungeon with Donut. That's basically where I ended off. So I wonder what this world dungeon has in store. It's gonna be a 10-book series, so I know they're gonna survive. So that's what's keeping me onto this book, because when you know like something's gonna happen to the main characters, it's kind of like fucked. I mean, hopefully nothing happens. If they get through this and oh wait, now that I'm thinking about it, they're two separate crawlers. Because when you go into the dungeon, they assign you a number, like buddied up, or if they're separate crawlers. But I know at the last level of the dungeon, two entrances but one exit. Does that mean only one of them survive? Carl or Princess Donut? Or if they're buddied, can they go through together and survive it together? Or is it like one or the other? It better not be one or the other. It, it better not be one or the other. I just realized that right now. It better not be one or the other. But I'm going to continue immersive reading because I am listening to the audiobook while I read. The reason I wanted to listen to the audiobook is because Princess Donut's voice. I like when there's like different characters and like I don't know, it just pulls me into the story more when it's like a little bit more fun and whimsy like that. So it is July 27th, Monday at 8:20. So let's see how far I get today. I will be checking in each time I read. The timeline I'm giving myself, I want to finish this at least by the end of this week. I don't like to read too fast or listen too fast because I like to actually enjoy the story and understand what's going on. So at least a week or a week and a half, I would like to give myself to finish this book. In the next video, I will do a book review showing you all the parts that I loved or disliked about this book, so I hope you stay tuned. Let's start reading. Alright, so yesterday I forgot to record. So day 1, I completed 37 pages and made it to chapter 8. Today is day 2, and I'm not sure how much I will complete, but I will check in with you guys after I'm done reading. I ended off where they had to go back into the world dungeon because they completed the tutorial guild. They met Mordecai the rat, and he explained how this whole thing works, and they're basically under surveillance the whole time, and people are watching them, and it's better to do good so people could root for you because you could like gain like credibility points. Sorry, I butchered that. Princess Donut gains her voice and is so funny because she's so sassy and like entitled, if you would say. And then it ends up that she is like smarter than him and she is the party leader. I feel like she's gonna end up carrying this freaking story, and she's just gonna end up telling Carl what to do in these situations when he ends up being stuck, which I'm living for. So I'm gonna continue reading and let's see how much I get to today. Alright, so I just finished reading for day 2 and I read 72 pages and I made it to chapter 19. I'm really liking how this story is going so far. It's really interesting. I love how Princess Donna and Carl are working together because I thought Princess Donna was gonna like carry and like be the mastermind, but it's like they need each other. Like they're the perfect duo, to be honest. How Carl like kind of hated her in the beginning or like didn't like cats, but like Loki was about to kidnap her or like want her for himself. Like he secretly loves cats or like loves Princess Donna, which is kind of endearing. And I love how they like work together and always stick by each other's side. Where I ended off is they were trying to defeat a dungeon boss because of course Princess Donut is so funny because she is so concerned about having screen time. When she found out that this was like a whole show and like they could grab certain like I would say contestants, but it's crawlers and interview them or like show them this show that they premiere to everybody or they forecast to everybody, and she really wants to be interviewed or be casted or have screen time on that show because she's a princess, she's a show cat, like she's used to being praised and being showed. So it's really funny how she craves that attention and she tries to put them in like weird ass predicaments, killing and like trying to destroy shit but in style in order to get screen time, and I think that shit is funny as shit. It's kind of fucked up because Carl gets dragged into all of that. So they have to defeat this dungeon boss. They end up trying to like blow up like the entrance, or like blow up the whole thing, so they don't really gotta do too much because they don't really have as much power to defeat a dungeon boss hand to hand. They just resort to using the materials that they have around them. They used a bunch of gunpowder to blow it up. Princess Donna went into like scope the area out, but when she came out, she was like, blow him up. He's there. Like, he's ugly as shit. Like, this freaking goblin, blow that shit up. But last minute, she says that there is goblin babies in the boss room as he pulls the trigger to ignite the fucking bomb or whatever they set up in the front to kill them. And he's like, God damn it, Donut. Couldn't say this earlier. You said it right when I hit the trigger to blow them up. Donut does make a point, like, who in their right mind would put goblin babies in a boss room knowing people are gonna come try to fuck this shit up? But it's it's just so funny to me, like, that's really what's gonna happen. So I hope they don't get into like some war with the goblins. But let's see, who knows what's gonna happen. They just killed off all their offspring. So I don't know how that's gonna play out when the goblins come back and figure it out. But I'm really enjoying how this goes. Let's see tomorrow for day 3 how far I get into the book. Like I said before, I'm trying to finish this in a week. So I think I could get there. And the guys, side note, I didn't like annotating. I never wanted to annotate a book because I just didn't want to have it like this. Because obviously you could take them the tabs out when you're finished with the book to like put it back in your bookshelf. But in order to do these videos, I need to keep track of the things that I like or don't like about this book so I could talk about them. So I'm kind of forced to tab. But look at these tabs, they look so cute. I really, if you're gonna read this series in tab, I really recommend having like highlight, or not highlight, but neon tabs, because I feel like it looks so cool and obviously it matches. And I have to order new tabs because this is all I have on stock. So see you guys tomorrow when I'm gonna read for day 3. Bye. Okay, so I just got finished reading and it got dark as fuck. I turned on my light to record. Yo, one, this is blinding the fuck out of me. Two, I like hit as fuck. Oh my god. What time is it? We officially stopped reading at 8 o'clock or 8:05. And this is how I'm looking. Pretty. Let me let me situate myself and I'll do a proper check-in. I'm looking rough as shit. Alright guys, I cleaned myself up a bit and I'm back with the official check-in. For the third day, I feel like I did pretty well. I read 12 chapters and 217 pages. Chapter 19 to chapter 31. I started at 2:30 and I ended at 8:05. I did 6.5 hours of reading. I feel like that's not bad, you know, not bad. And I'm also reading the audiobook, so not too much of my reading speed, okay? At the pace of the audiobook, okay? So don't be like you're a fucking slow reader, yada 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 yada. Because I see people come at others for that all the time, and it's like this is supposed to be a space for all of us to read and enjoy content from like books, from like physical medium that we enjoy. Why are we coming at others for their speed, like their reading speed? Buddy, at least we're reading a fucking book. You know what I mean? Like at least we're reading a fucking book. Don't come at us. But I don't know if I'm a slow reader or not. I mean, I guess I would consider myself a slow reader because I really like to enjoy the story and see what's going on. But you know, I really don't give a fuck what category I am in. I really don't give a fuck. I'm just read to read. Anyways, that's a fucking sidetrack and a half. Got to the point where they defeated the dungeon boss alongside those people. where they were gonna save the elderly because they got dragged into this whole fucking mess and they're caretakers. So Carl ended up helping them because it also helps him as well at the end of the day. Ended up getting dragged into the interview. Donut was so excited because obviously that was her dream. She wanted to be on the interview. She wanted to be the star of the show. Like she's an attention whore at the end of the day. um, but that's her main priority now is to be favorited by the people that are watching and to make the show entertaining. And it's gonna drag them into some shit in the future. I just know it. I mean, he even says it in the book, but it's just funny to know that she's gonna drag them into some shit just to make the show interesting. Well, it's gonna make it interesting for us as well, so I guess we should appreciate it. But it sucks for Carl. They were opening up loot boxes and all their achievements with Mordecai because that's like their safe zone. Last gift, he got a pair of pedicure toe clippers to like take care of his feet. And it's like, bruh, he couldn't get shoes, he couldn't get pants, but he got pedicure stuff to take care of his feet. If you haven't read this story and you don't know why that's funny, I highly recommend you read the story to know why that's funny. And Princess Donut got a spell resurrection, and then they were just bantering about that back and forth at the end of the chapter, and that's how far it got. I'm really enjoying how this story is going so far. I wonder what happens next, and I wonder if this whole feet fetish thing is gonna keep going on. Um, I'm not surprised if it can if it just keeps going on, but you know, hey, I'm not mad at it. Entertainment is entertainment, comedy is comedy, so it's actually really funny. I say day three was a success, and I got through a good portion of the book. So let's see how much I get done tomorrow. See you on the next check-in. Today is day four, reading Ginger Color Carl in 1 week. Yesterday I did take a break, but we're just not going to talk about that. I left off on chapter 31 where they were opening up their achievements and she got a resurrection potion. So yeah, I wonder how far I'm going to get today. I'll check back in when I'm done reading. Day four has officially ended and I completed the book. Now, I will say this story is pretty wild, and if you're looking for a fantasy book that is funny and wild, I highly recommend you pick up this book. I read 188 pages from chapter 31 to the end. I wasn't expecting them to get a pet. You know, I wasn't expecting Mongo to get into the mix. When I seen a dinosaur, because when you look on Instagram or like online, and if you look up some of their things, I seen some stickers with the dinosaur, and I'm like, where the fuck does the dinosaur come in? And I thought it was gonna be later on in the series, but actually happens in the end of this book, which is pretty funny to see because it's Princess Donut's pet, and she's like acting like a mother, or she's like has a motherly or like a maternal instinct to that fucking dinosaur or whatever you want to say. Also, Agatha being sus as fuck, that threw me off guard. Like I thought she was dead, but then when sus things started to happen when it came to like her presence, it started to like throw me off a little bit. And she's just sus as fuck. So I wonder what like her true involvement or true intentions are. So let's see. And they kind of reveal it at the end too. I feel like they're trying to pin Donut and Carl against each other in some weird way. I don't know if it's for like entertainment purposes or to try to get them to like become enemies. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me because I want them to stay together. Like they're the perfect duo. And even Carl calls it out in one of the scenes. Like he's like, "Oh no, they just told you that to get us to fight." Like I don't know. That just threw me off a little bit. The whole Yolanda thing where she died, you know, I didn't really have a personal connection to any of the characters, but I kind of felt sad in that moment. I was like, damn, Yolanda, no, Yolanda, no. Jack situation, well, that's what sparked the Yolanda situation. But Jack, that was just, I was not expecting that. That was just funny as fuck, but I just feel bad that Yolanda had to, like, suffer the consequences of that old ass man. But I digress. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, I will be posting a review soon. And if you're really into fun fantasy, have fun writing styles, you know, that don't care to curse and like say shit how it is, then I really recommend you pick this up. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.